Ho there, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday morning. It's OpenCV Live. We're here with Martaza. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Before we get started, though, as we wait for everyone to trickle into your various streaming platforms and services, please let us know where you're coming from in the chat. We love to see the global OpenCV community chiming in every Thursday morning. I am coming to you today from beautiful, sunny, a little bit too hot Tijuana, Mexico. And Murtaza, where are you joining us from?
I'm coming from Lahore, Pakistan. It's
All right.
kind of better here. It's not that warm.
I think it was yesterday, it was like 33 Celsius here, which is just a bit too much for me.
Okay.
Us folks that grew up in the cold temperatures, 33 is a lot. But, you know. I see Odessa, Texas, chiming in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and we love seeing you. Thanks so much. We've got Everett, Washington. We've got Maryland in Zoom. We've got Moscow. Thanks, everybody.
Wait, Moscow is a name or?
The place, Moscow.
Oh, okay.
We've
I
got
thought
India.
Oh,
Yeah, and as you join, please let us know where you're coming from. We'll get started in just a few minutes, as I said, and today's episode is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Martaza here from Murtaza's Workshop, a much more popular channel than ours. thanks for slumming it with us, Murtaza. I think you're at
thank
over
you for
like
having me.
you're over like 400K, aren't you?
Yeah, 450.
Wow,
Closing in on
that's
450.
dang, man, that's awesome. Congrats. We
Thank
got
you.
Molly in the chat, Minneapolis, the Philippines, Maryland on LinkedIn. It's going to be a fun episode. This whole episode, I guess, is a Brave live demo, right? We're going to be building a line follower drone. Fingers crossed. We're going to be building a line follower drone and possibly failing a few times, but that's life, man. You gotta.
Actually, there's a twist. We are
Okay.
going to build a line following drone. So, because it's more about prompting nowadays, so we'll prompt together.
Sure. Something will build a line, line
Yeah.
following drone. Okay. I think now is as good a time as any to start. It looks like everyone is, double check on Zoom here. How's Zoom doing? I see Zoom is doing all right. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will get started here. Hey there, everybody. It's Thursday morning, 9 a.m. You know what that means. It's time for OpenCV Live. This is episode 203. I am your co-host with the co-most, the second banana who's second to none. I'm also your plus one and only. It's Mr. Nelson if you're nasty, but you, my dear friends, can call me Phil. And I'm here to remind you of three things on this show today. The first of which is Dr. Satya Malik is on assignment, so I'm flying solo in the host chair today. Bear with me. The second is that we're taking questions from you in the audience. So use the Q&A button if you're watching over on Zoom, or just post your questions wherever you are in the chat on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitch, on Facebook, wherever. I'll be monitoring those and I'll add the best ones. We'll bring them up on screen later on in the episode, or if it makes sense, we'll flow them into conversation during the presentation. Today is going to be a really fun one. We've got Murtaza Hassan from Murtaza's Workshop, a very popular YouTube channel focused on robotics and AI and computer vision and building really cool stuff. We're super happy to have Murtaza back. It's been a while since he was on here, I think maybe about a year ago, something like that. And it's going to be a really fun episode. We're also doing a special giveaway to you out there in the audience. In about 40 minutes later in the episode, I will be asking a trivia question based on today's presentation. The first person to answer that will win the OpenCV University course of their choosing. You can see what courses are on offer by going to opencv.org/university. And before we get started with the presentation, I just got a little bit of business to take care of here at the top of the show. OpenCV is a non-profit organization that develops open source software. As such, we depend on the support of people like you and the companies you work for. You can help OpenCV by sponsoring us on GitHub. Scan that QR code. It'll take you to the GitHub sponsors page, and you can help support nonprofit, open source computer vision and AI with your hard-earned dollars. Your donations pay for the active development and maintenance of the OpenCV library and help us do stuff like this live stream every Thursday, as well as the OpenCV conference OSCA, which is coming up very soon on May the 4th in Los Angeles. OpenCV is hosting a one-day event as part of Display Week. Display Week is the largest gathering of display professionals and technologies in the world, and we are so pleased to be part of it. You can find out more by going to displayweek.org and finding the OSCA page here. I'm going to pop up our QR code. Go ahead and scan that QR code. Meet us in Los Angeles. Somehow they managed to convince me to come to LA. I don't know how they did it, but they did. Display Week is a fantastic conference. Last year was my first time attending, and I really enjoyed it. It was pretty amazing, especially the exhibit hall, where all of these display manufacturers, Samsung, LG, the heavy hitters, even companies like Tesla and other automobile manufacturers are showing off their new displays and ways to interact with devices on screens. Super cool event. It's in Los Angeles. OpenCV is part of it. May 4th. Come check it out. We're really excited, and we would love to see you there in Los Angeles. So please join us. Having said that, I think we can just about get started here. Martaza, welcome back to the show. It is good to see you, my friend.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
You can go ahead and get started whenever you want. If you want to give the people a quick little intro and remind them who you are.
Great. So thank you very much. Let me switch to the presentation mode. And
looks great.
I will start the presentation and introduce myself along as well. So I hope my audio is clear and we can get started.
Sounds great.
Okay, so the first thing, what exactly are we doing today? So we are programming a line following drone. So the idea is very simple. Applications of drones are rapidly growing and everyone wants to jump into that. But if you have worked with any of the drones before, it's very difficult to get started on actual hardware. So today what we will be doing is we will be learning how to program a drone without getting our hands dirty. We will be using a simulator to actually learn how to program. And one of the easiest and one of the most fun ways to learn how to do something is by programming an actual application. So that application in this case is a line following drone. And the good thing about this application is that it has so many possibilities, and there are actual competitions based on this where you compete to optimize the speed and accuracy of your drones or robots that follow different lines. So that's why we have picked this exact application. Okay, so who am I? My name is Murtaza Hassan, and I, by profession, am a robotics engineer. I have done Masters of Science, and I've worked in the industry for about 2 years, and I have been a university lecturer for about 4 years. And then I shifted to my own company, which is CV Zone. And I also have a YouTube channel about computer vision, robotics, and AI, which has around 450K subs so far.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal.
It's only 450,000, no big deal.
450, yeah. Hopefully going further. And so what exactly are we doing today? I have split this into 3 different sections. First of all, we'll look a little bit into the importance of why exactly drones are important nowadays. And then we will learn how to run our first flight. And then we will look into the application, which is the line following. And one big thing is there will be a bonus tip. And this will be my secret tip. And I'm not hyping this, but it is an actual thing that I use, and I will show you the screenshots of my actual projects that I have used this technique in. It's a two-step prompting technique to handle large projects with consistency. So nowadays, we are actually coding with AI, and we don't really understand the project, and it can differ in different ways. So in order to keep it all together and keep consistent output, I have a very simple two-step process, and I will be sharing what exactly it is and how you can benefit from that as well. Okay, now before we begin, I have a very simple question, and I'm actually curious about this. That's why I've added this question. When was the last time you hand coded a complete script? So not changing an HTML file here and there, actually writing the whole thing, whether it's Python, HTML, CSS, whatever language you have. When was the last time you actually did that?
For
Can we
me, it
get
was
some
yesterday.
responses? Oh, it was yesterday?
Yeah,
You wrote
yeah,
the complete
definitely.
script?
Yeah, a little Python script. It was about 25 lines of Python.
All right.
But yeah, let us know in the
So
chat your answers. When's the last time you hand coded a complete script? I'm interested in this answer as well. I
because
see
nowadays,
Bruce Wright over on Zoom says 2 to 3 years ago. We've got a few people saying a few minutes ago. We've got
a few minutes ago, okay.
Christopher Fahy says 2 months ago. Pani Madi says last year. Andre says 2025 in Python. Sumajit says last time I did is a few minutes ago. And I've got Dulce saying 6 months ago. So a wide range of answers to that
A wide
question.
range. But here's the thing, the trend actually is going towards not actually writing the whole thing, but taking parts of scripts and putting them together using AI, right? So that's what I can see is happening nowadays. Okay, so moving on. Last week, from A to Z, 1 year ago, maybe 1 month ago. Okay. So a lot of variation.
Yeah, and there's a good
Okay.
question as well. James asked, how do you measure complete? I think we're getting too philosophical for today, James.
How do you measure what?
Complete. What's the
Oh,
rubric for complete?
okay.
That's a great question.
Well, I would say a standalone script that can, perform a certain task.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
We got last week from Don Vito over on YouTube as well. We've got Thomas on LinkedIn says last week, but for learning, it was a C++ script apparently.
Oh, C++.
Yeah.
Very few people still using C++.
It's a dying art, but an art nonetheless.
Yeah, true.
We've got Taya Kin says, I programmed my own video game, but it was before my layoff last year. Sorry to hear about the layoff. We hope you land on your feet, or you already have. It's really tough out there.
Yeah, true. And we do have a chicken and egg problem where, senior developers are getting more, they have more opportunities, but the junior devs, they don't have a lot of opportunities. But then if they don't get opportunities, how will the new seniors become, the juniors will become seniors?
Yeah.
So it's a chicken and egg problem, which came first, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you don't have junior engineers, you can never get senior engineers. Senior engineers do not just appear in the world, right? You have to build them.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to go through a lot of rituals before you get there. Anyways, moving on. So let's start off with the importance of drones nowadays. So let's start with 2026. So 2026 started off with a lot of drone shows in many different countries. And these are some of the visuals that they actually created in the sky. And all these different dots are drones that are flying in the air. Very impressive, by the way. And countries are now competing with each other to have the Guinness World Record of how many drones they can fly in a drone show. So the biggest stake here is that maybe in the last session or the session before that, I said that drones are the future and they will be very useful later on and blah, blah, blah. But now drones are already here. That's the big take. And to actually understand the depth of this, I have a few examples of where drones are already being used. So let's have a look at those. So the first one here is agriculture. So we have drones that are flying and harvesting these different materials on the crops by themselves. Now, some of them are autonomous, but most of them are manual still. So what we can do is we can learn how to make it autonomous so that nobody has to be at the back seat controlling the drone. Okay, then we have firefighting. Here you can see an example drone helping out in taking out fires in very tall buildings, right? So normally you would need a helicopter to do something like this. But now with drones, again, with operators, they are operating this and using these drones to take off the fire. Then we have delivery drones. These delivery drones, they can deliver food. They can deliver small items that are not very heavy. So more half kgs. So if falls in that category, so
Is
a
that
lot
video
of
from
products.
is that video from Shenzhen?
Yes, it is.
I've been to
Oh,
that same drone station, the OpenCV meetup a few months ago. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's great. So the thing is, a lot of these applications, they are taking place in China. So we don't really see them often in our countries, but a lot of them will shift once, it gets mainstream. Again, we have a lifeguard application, and this is one of my favorite ones where it's a very specific task. It's not journal AI or journal programming. It's very specific task for one specific application. So what you do is you have lots of drones like lifeguards, and whenever somebody needs it will just fly and drop itself. And something like this, if it is automated, that will be very, very useful, right? So I'm not sure if they are using it manually or automatically, but we do have a simulation of this that will actually allow you to, write this autonomously. Okay. Then we this is a controversial one that or not. Month we had a drama of OpenAI and Claude and the Pentagon, where they had these different criterias of what is possible and what should they do and what should they not do. But anyways, apart from that, it's being used, right? So they are already using it. The police is already using it in real world applications. Oh, okay. So this is not muted. Let me mute that. Okay. Last minute changes, right? Oh, there you go. So then we have advertisements as well. Now you can see these are very big advertisement boards, and they feel like they're transparent. And drones, quite large drones, they fly them off, and you can use them for advertisement. Now, whether it's good or bad, ethically, morally, I don't know, but it's being used, right? So some people, they have issues with this, that even the air is being monetized. So the empty space, every empty corner is being monetized. So it is a controversial thing, but still you can see drones are being applied everywhere, and we have really good examples of that. Now, we also have the elephant in the room. Can anyone guess what the elephant in the room is?
Is it an elephant?
Maybe. So what application of drone is the elephant in the room? Again, it's very controversial, but still.
Well, I mean, obviously warfare.
Yes. So unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you want to call it, drones are being used a lot in wars, and in the recent wars, you can see. And of course, I condemn war as well, and pretty much everyone does. But
Yeah,
still,
war
we
is bad.
have, yeah, for whatever the reason is, but it's been used. And one thing that comes out of this is a little bit advancement of technology. Now, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but still, it is one of the aftermaths of war that you get advancement in technology. And at the forefront, it seems it's the drones at this point, because we have seen the Shahid drone in the recent warfare, which is causing a lot of trouble for US and the Israeli party. But and it's made from just a motorcycle engine, right? And
Yeah.
it's surprising how cheap they can actually make it. So drones, they are being worked on, and they are getting advanced by seconds, right? So even Ukraine is working on that. Morally, ethically, well, it's a different story, but in reality, it is being worked on.
And
So
historically, this has been the case as well. You know, it's easy to forget from 2026 perspective, but the internet itself that we are using right now, much of the
yeah,
technology that created it and enabled it was created as part
it
of
was
government
war.
military programs
Yeah,
like DARPA.
yeah. Even I believe the Enigma machine was part of that as well.
Yes,
So they
that's
had
right.
to
Alan
decode and
Turing
all
and
of
all
that.
that. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, so this is one of the big applications of drones. But today we are focusing on the soft applications, not something very aggressive. Okay, so what exactly are we doing? Let's move on. What we will be doing is we will be using PySimverse. Oh, what exactly is PySimverse? It's a drone simulator that you can run using Python. I remember there was a simulator back in 2015-16 that came up, and it was a self-driving simulator where you train a neural nets, and then you take photographs of that, and then you train it again and put the AI model in in the car, and it will give you the results. Can anyone remember the name? I forgot the name.
I don't remember.
Self. It was a self-driving simulator. It was very light, and it was one of the things that inspired us to actually create PySimverse, where you can use your own environment, you can use your coding platform, and you can control an external environment. So like a rescue operation, or an agricultural drone, or a line following drone, and so forth. So the good thing is PySimverse is open to public. It's free to use. You can go ahead and download it. And some of the what do you call missions are paid, but a lot of it is free to use, and you can simply go to the website and download it. So if we go to PySimverse, there you
You
go,
can also see a bit
pysimverse.com.
more about this on episode 176 of OpenCV Live, where we talked about PySimverse with Murtaza.
Yes. So at that time, it wasn't available to public, and we were testing it with very limited users. But right now it's open to public, and you can simply go ahead and download without even signing in. You can simply download. And the big take here is that it's so easy to run. You can run it in 4 lines of code. So you import PySimverse, you connect to the drone, you create an object, you connect to the drone, and then you tell it to take off, and that's it. So here we have a demo. You can see if you run that, it flies off, and that's pretty much it. And we have a lot of examples. So we have drone obstacles, navigation, we have car chase. One of the big ones is the drone show. So we have tested it with more than 1,000 drones, and it works fine. So it will be interesting to see where we can, what's the actual limit of that. We have face tracking, animal surveillance, and we are also embedding AI agents in it to see how well it responds, and can it take decisions of its own or not. Scary stuff, but in a simulated environment at least. Okay, So yeah, so it's very easy. You can simply go ahead and download this from PySimverse.com. You can click on download and it will download the exe for you. Now, we currently have the Windows version and we are almost done with the Mac version, and it will be released very, very soon. So if you are using Windows, you can right away use it right now. Okay, so here is our PySimverse. Now, before we begin, are there any questions so far?
Looking at the chat here, I don't see any that we can easily answer. There are a few people opining about the morality of war. I think we can skip that for today. We're probably not going to solve it on OpenCV Live, but I think we can keep going.
Okay. Great. So let's go to PySimverse. And one of the things that we have done is it visible? Oh, no.
Yeah, looks like you lost your screen share there.
Yeah, for some reason, the screen share is gone. Okay, so it's visible now?
Yep, looks great.
Okay, so one of the things we have done is that this PySimverse window, we have made it so that you can use it halfway, and on the other half, you can have your code. So for example, whatever IDE that you use, you can have it open on one side, and then you have the PySimverse simulator opened on the other side. So here we have lots of different missions that you can try out. So all of these are free missions to use. You have hand gesture control. You can use your hand to move and play a game. And you have body following, excuse me. And then today what we are doing is the line follower. We also have a lot of these that are being built right now. So for example, building inspection. This is one of the good ones where you inspect if there are any broken windows and how many there are. We have drone show, we have agricultural crops being sprayed and all of that. And we have lots of examples. In fact, I did have a screen share for this. Yeah, there. So this is these are the applications where we are expanding. It's delivery, inspection, power line cleaning, moving vehicle tracking, 3D building modeling, spray crops. This is a very interesting one because a lot of drones are being used to model 3D models, 3D buildings that are actually you can see in reality. So what you do is you move the drone around and you can create a 3D model out of that. So then you have pipeline gas leak detection, disaster assessment, and then this is the water rescue. So all of these we have it in the backlog and we are working on them.
Another one is anomaly detection for large structures. Like, for example, they have a fleet of drones they put out to sort of scan the Golden Gate Bridge every now and again to look for any stress points and things like that that may be showing signs of distress.
Yeah.
That's another one. We got one question from the audience here, which I'll put up on screen, which is, Rusty asks, what kind of drone is required for PySimverse?
Well, you don't really need a drone to actually use this. All you have to do is you have to install PySimverse, and that's pretty much it. So we are not actually connecting it to a real drone. We are using it in a simulated environment. Maybe in the future, we will add the application of where you just you write the code, you transfer it to an actual drone. But for now, the whole point of PySimverse is to understand and apply the logic rather than going through the hardware problems, right? I have been working with drones for more than 3 or 4 years at this point. And the biggest issue with drones is the hardware. One simple crash and it takes you maybe a day or two behind, right? Because you might not have the part. And a lot of the times you have version problems, right? It's so frustrating that everything was working fine. yeah, and then something updated automatically, and then it's not. So again, all of this stuff is what we are trying to avoid, and we are trying to focus on the bigger picture, which is the logic itself. So it is something to understand and exercise your brain rather than getting the real world application, right? So that's the basic idea. Okay, moving on, where were we? So on one side, we have all these different applications. We call them missions. So you can start any of these missions, and within those, you have different levels. And within those levels, you have scorecards as well. You can see different leaderboards, who is scored where, and you can see a lot of people, they are competing here. And we will later on, we will have competitions as well, where you can compete, and we'll have prizes and stuff like that. So we haven't rolled out that feature yet, but soon enough we will. Anyways, so today we are looking into line following. So let's go ahead and start that. Here we have 3 different levels. We are going to start off with a very basic one, which is level 1. So if we click on that, it actually gives you an idea of what you have to do. It will tell you what exactly it does. And you also have the option of tutorial. If you click on that, it will take you to PySimverse gallery, where you have these different, I think I'm not signed in. I need to sign in and check the tutorials. Yeah. So
Brave live demo syndrome.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you have these different what do you call tutorials. This will give you the starter codes to actually get up and running. You can check out different code we have as well. Over here you can see these different applications for each of these what do you call missions. We have some explanations as well, that will get you started. It's not the perfect solution, but it will get you started. Okay, so going back, there you go. So now let's discuss how exactly are we going to program this. Now things are changing, and people don't actually write the complete code, and they use AI agents. And to be honest, I do the same thing as well. And agents can write code in the speed that it is getting harder and harder to even manage and understand the code as well, right? So you write like a single prompt, and it will push maybe 50 different files, and then for you it becomes difficult to manage and to understand what exactly happened. So what I like to do now, as I mentioned earlier, I will be sharing my tip of how exactly we can create bigger projects, and without losing a lot of control. So I will be sharing my tip right now, and we will be using the same technique in order to create this example, right? So first, what exactly are we trying to do? We have one thing is the detection of the line, and the second thing is the following of the line. So if we look at our drone here, this is our line, and it is plain red, and we have a plain white background. So the detection part is very simple. So we don't have any abnormalities. It's very simple to get started with. It's not like you are in a garden or you are in the street where you will have a pothole, or if you'll have some garbage laying around that will distort the detection. So the detection part is very simple for this project. But when it comes to the following part, that is where we'll have to add our creativity. So the detection part, we can simply use color. We can say detect the red color, and it will detect the red color. But for the following part, it's not very easy to say, okay, follow the line. If it was that easy, then why we have an issue with self-driving cars, right? So the idea is we have lots of different ideas, possibilities of how you can make it follow a line. So we will look into different possibilities, and we will pick a few of those and test them out and see what results do we get. Okay, so coming back to the secret tip, is basically two steps. The first step is a plan folder, and the second step is a project summary. So both of them, they will have .md files. So project summary is an .md file, markdown it's called. And then the plan folder will have lots of different MD files that will have your different plans. So let me give you an example of how I'm using this in one of my recent projects. So I have a project where I'm taking a WordPress website and I'm converting it into a custom website. And in order to do that, we have many different steps, and it is very complicated in terms of authentication, in terms of we already have a lot of users that are on our WordPress website that we need to shift. They have purchases, they have orders, they have different courses that they are using, and all of that stuff. We need to be very careful in shifting all of that and then creating those different features. Now, what we have done is we have created a project summary.md, and what we also have is a plans folder, right? So that plans folder contains all the different plans for each of these major parts. So what are these major parts? For example, these are some of the plans that we had. So for example, a course landing page plan. So a course landing page normally has different components. We call it a hero component, a pricing component, and then let's say an instructor component, the curriculum components. So these are different components that could be reused for many different landing pages for different courses. So what we can do is we can use these different components and create different pages without rewriting a lot of code. So all of this planning and how to execute this is done within this MD file. So the first thing we do is we tell our AI agent to create this plan. We read that plan, we try to understand it. Whatever we have in mind, we share with the AI agent, and we keep repeating the plan until we are satisfied with the plan before actually executing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've seen this workflow become more prevalent over the last year or two, I feel.
Exactly. So then again, we have an LMS plan, the learning management system. And then we have a WooCommerce plan for WordPress. We use WooCommerce for payments and orders and all of this stuff. But then we have to shift it to, let's say, our own stack. And then we need to shift all the users. We need to shift all the features. So how can we do that? Again, we discuss in the WooCommerce plan. Similarly, when we execute the plan, when the plan has been executed, then we create the project summary. So the project summary includes what has been done already. Plan folder contains all the stuff that we will be doing. The project summary is something, think of this as the main source for an AI agent to understand your complete project. So for example, what did we do in authentication? What did we do in user profiles? For plans and credits, what did we add? So all of the different features. So for example, if we had shifted all our WordPress users to, let's say, our custom website, how many users did we shift? What were the features? What were the tables that we shifted, and all of that information. So all of this is embedded in the project summary. And whenever we add a new feature, whenever we implement a new plan, we just tell our AI agent to update the project summary so that it keeps going on. And the best thing about this is that whatever AI agent you use, whatever AI platform or IDE you are using, it will give you similar results, because now you have a summary of what has been done and what do you need to do further. So even if you are using, let's say, Cursor with, let's say, Sonnet, and then you shift to what do you call it? The anti-gravity with Gemini, it will pretty much look like they are same. They will speak the same language, because your project summary tells them this has been done and this needs to be the next step. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so we are going to apply this same exact strategy in our case to perform this task. What is our task? We need to do line following. Now, one more thing that I have seen, that I have worked with myself, and it is gaining popularity, is using templates. So what I like to do is, I like to create a new folder. Let's say we are doing line following. And inside this, what I will do is I will create another folder and I will call them templates. So these will be my scripts, standalone scripts that run and do a very specific task. Okay, so what are those tasks? For example, we had a course for this complete PySimverse project, and we had a few missions on this as well. And there we created and wrote some of these templates. So let me just use a few of those to actually show you the power of using these templates. So let me show you a few examples. So here, the first one is our first flight. So this is a template that will, if you are working with PySimverse for the very first time, this is the code that you would run, right? So if, let's say, an AI agent does not know how to run PySimverse, how to connect to the drone, this is the perfect script to tell it how to get started with PySimverse, right? So that is your first flight. You simply import PySimverse, you create an object, you connect it, you take it off, you set the speed and move forward. And this you are giving in centimeters. So you are saying go forward 150 centimeters. That's pretty much it. And then you can say simply land. Now, in order to run this, you do have to install PySimverse. So to install that, you can go to your terminal and just make sure you are in the virtual environment, and you will write pip install PySimverse. And we will also use CV Zone, which is a wrapper for OpenCV, to detect colors. So it's up to you. If you have a technique to detect colors, you can use that. But we will be using PySimverse and CV Zone. So you can simply write pip install PySimverse and CV Zone, and that will install it for you. So once that is done, let's test it out. We are going to run our first flight. I believe you can't hear the drone, right? Or can you?
No, I can't, and I'm glad. I have enough noise. Bzzz.
Oh, you can hear it?
No, we can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it. Okay, that's good. Because I can, and it's annoying. When you have too much noise, it gets
The simulator is simulating too well.
Yeah. No, we do have an option to mute it from here. So you can, I'm not sure if it's visible. Maybe now it's visible. So you have the option here to mute it. Yeah. So you can mute it from here. Okay. So here is an example of how you can simply run it and let it perform some task, right? Similarly, we have a template of how you can run it continuously. Instead of telling it go forward 50 centimeters, you run it continuously based on your speed. Because, for example, in line following, you don't say go forward and then think again, and go forward, then think again. It's not like that. You need continuous updates, and instead of saying go forward and go right, you just change the speed. You just move it around. You change the speed in a loop. So this is what RC control does. You can see it is exactly the same. You import the drone, you tell it to take off, and then this is the RC control where you are sending the speeds of left and right, forwards and backwards, and up and down, and then yaw, the rotation. So these are the 4 values that you send. And initially, for example, left and right is 0. So it will not go left and right. And forward backwards is 50. So it will keep going 50. It will keep going forward, and until you tell it to stop, until you change this value of 50, right? So that's the idea of RC control. So again, in our case, instead of giving the template to our AI agent for first flight, because that does not represent our use scenario, we can give it the RC control. It will be a much better representation of what we actually need. Then we have the drone video stream. So how exactly can we get the screenshot or the camera feed from our drone into our Python code, right? Like we do in OpenCV. So it's very simple. PySimverse, you import the drone. You also import OpenCV so that you can show and display what you have received as an image. And then drone.stream on. That's it. That's pretty much you need to do. You tell it to stream on and take off. And then like you do in OpenCV, you basically get the frame and then you use cv2.imshow. That's how simple it is, right? So let's run that and see if it works. So it says response connected. It will fly up. And there you go. Oh, it crashed. Drone has taken off. It crashed for some reason. Drone.land.sleep. Maybe because we have a lot of things going on at the same time.
You forgot to ask the AI to make sure that they didn't write any bugs.
Second time's the charm.
Yeah.
There you go. So we do have, sometimes it's a connection problem. It's real world, right? So it is simulating the real world. So it will crash a few times before it runs. So that's the idea. Now you can see we have the feed, right? So we can actually use it to detect the color or do different things, right? So, and then we have, so these are all these different templates that are standalone that will work by themselves. And when we are telling our AI agent to run this, we will give it these templates so that it understands how exactly PySimverse works and how exactly can we grab the image and make it run and so on. I hope that is clear so far.
Yeah, definitely making sense to me. If you have any questions in the chat, please let us know. We're happy to answer those.
So somebody's saying currently we are using ROS, Ardu pilots, Gazebo, and our SDK. I'm going to try PySimverse to help us with simulations. Great. Actually, these are amazing platforms. ROS, Gazebo, all of these, they are amazing platforms. We are not really competing with them. The idea is very different. What we have is it's something to get started very quickly. We have our own missions rather than creating different missions by yourselves. We have predefined missions that you can try and test and improvise and improve. That's the basic idea. Normally with ROS, you need a few good days just to set this up, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to bridge that gap, that if you wanted to learn how to fly a drone, how to program it, you don't really have to create the complete environment just to get started. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so now that we have our dummy codes, our templates, we also have the color detection. This color detection is using CV Zone, and it is very simple. It uses OpenCV to actually detect color using the HSV space. If you have worked with OpenCV before, it's exactly the same thing. It's just been wrapped so that with a few lines, you can make it a little bit easier to work with. So for example, we are importing CV Zone here. We have the color module. We are getting the color finder. And here is the main thing where we can turn on the track bar or turn off the track bar. If we turn on the track bar, it means we are in debug mode. And in debug mode, we can basically find out the color that we want to detect. And once we are done with it, you can simply make it false and it should work as it is. Let me show you how that works. So it's very simple. You read from the OpenCV camera, you give my color finder, you tell it the HS values you want to detect, and it will give you the output. That's it. Image orange, for example, you're detecting orange color, and then it will give you the mask, and then you can simply display it here. This is a stacking function to display different images in the same window. Let me run that, and it will be more clear. Let me find something colorful. Maybe this, is it yellow?
Yeah, like maybe a lime green kind of something.
Yeah, I have like 4 or 5 lights. That's why it's a little bit
Yeah.
difficult to get actual color. Maybe a notepad would work. Maybe here.
Yeah, that looks pretty yellow.
Or maybe we can just try to get the red, right? We have a lot of red at the back.
True.
Yeah. So here in the debug mode, we can simply open up our track bar. Here you can see. And what we have to do is we have to move this around until only the red part remains and the rest is gone. As you can see, now it's getting better. Only the red parts, they are remaining, and we can move it around. And maybe here. So again, a lot of lights. So it's not great result, but we have some result. Maybe if we move this, yeah, there you go. Does that make sense?
Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So once you have this, it's very easy. You stop the function, you stop the script, and you copy the HSV values, and you just replace them here. That's it. So if I just replace the values here, and I will go back and make this false. That's it. So now, by default, it is going to detect that red color.
Yeah, very clear.
There you go. So now we don't have the track bar, and by default, it is detecting the red color. Okay.
And then you're doing it looks like you're doing thresholding on the other view as well. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So it's giving you the mask. So on the
right.
other
Okay.
side,
Gotcha.
yeah, this is the mask image. It's giving us that. Okay. So now these are the different templates that we have, and using this, we are going to write our code, and it will make the AI agent's job very easy to actually complete the task. Okay. So the very first thing, what we are going to do, as I mentioned before, we are going to create a folder for plan, right? So here we are going to write here plans. And inside that, inside the line following, we are going to create a file. We are going to call it project_summary.md. There you go. So now what I will do is I will open this up in an IDE that can use AI agents. For now, I'm using Cursor. You can use whatever you wish. And I think I should move myself on the other side so it is easy to see what I'm writing. I think that's better. Okay. So in the line following, now we have plans and we have the project summary. So what we are going to do is we are going to tell our AI agent, that this is what we are planning to do and create a plan for this, right? So we will be using PySimverse to create the line following, to code the line following application, application, third time's a charm. We'll be using PySimverse to code the line following application. Here are some sample scripts to understand how PySimverse works. Okay, and we are going to give our templates. I need a plan to execute this application step by step. So here is what I have so far. So what we can do is we can tell what we are thinking over here so that it doesn't go off and create something far from what we are thinking. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, first of all, we can merge the video stream and the color detection so that we can detect the color in detect the color of the actual line, right? So once we have that done, then that's basically the detection part, right? So once we have that done, then we will move on to the following part. For the following,
Can you do us a favor and maybe bump your font size up a notch or two? It's a little bit small on my screen here. I don't know how easy that is to do on cursor. I'm not a cursor user.
I believe you don't use cursor.
No,
what do you do? What do you use?
I mean, it depends. I'm a text editor guy, man. I'm using I'm using Vim and BB Edit, and if I'm editing websites, I'm a big fan of Nova, the application from Panic, one of the all-time great software development houses for the Mac. But also JetBrains occasionally. JetBrains is pretty good as well.
Impressive. I believe
it's not impressive. I'm just old.
No, that is impressive. Or maybe let me do one thing. I can maybe zoom in from here, which is my main screen.
Yeah, there we go. Much better. That'll work.
Okay, so once I'm done, I will keep switching back so it's easier to see. Okay, so then we have the detection part, and then we have the following part. For the following part, I need to brainstorm a few solutions before selecting one. Okay, so for now, what we will do is, did we tell it to create the plan? Yeah. So it is going to create the plan. So we'll just give it the plan folder just in case it doesn't know where it is, even though it would probably. So let's run that and see what happens. So
it correctly understood your typo up there too. The line lallowing application, it knew what you meant.
Oh, lallowing. That's the best part, you know. You can make all the spelling mistakes you want. Let me squeeze this back down. Unfortunately, we have to do this in a live session.
Always.
There you go. So now I have this zoomed in version and I have a small version, right? I'll keep switching back and forth.
It's got to be live. Anything can happen on OpenCV Live, Martaza.
Yeah. True. So let's see what it is doing right now. I have located additional mission scripts in your course folder. Why did it go in the course folder? We should have said don't go in the course folder.
Like a moody teenager, it will interpret your instructions in interesting
Yeah,
ways.
exactly. Okay, it's saying it didn't really find the plan. Create the plan MD file here. There you go. It's creating one.
One of the funniest things to me about all of these AI, code assistants and generative code platforms is how they all just standardized on Markdown. Like I really wonder.
Yeah,
I remember when Markdown first came out, when John Gruber and Aaron Swartz released the first version of Markdown, and they couldn't possibly have guessed that it would become this ubiquitous.
yeah, the
Like
main
it really does kind of run the programming world.
exactly. I think it's simple, lightweight, and easy to understand.
Yeah,
I
that
would
was the
say.
idea. I remember when it came out very well. Again, I'm old, but
Imagine if we were using HTML. Half of the
sure.
time we'll be just
Or
searching for what exactly it's saying.
or even worse, XML.
Yeah, I think this is the best of all worlds.
Yeah, big fan of Markdown.
Yeah. So here we have the line following low-level application plan, building a working line loloing. Did you see that? Line loloing application, typo preserved using PySimverse. So it's kidding around with you. That's pretty amazing. So you stream the video, detect the line color, computes a line position, and sends RC command. So there you go. It understands that it needs to use RC commands rather than saying go forward, go backwards, and so on. And then we have the reference from this repo and execution plan. So this is all the different steps it has given. So the first one is to merge the video stream with color detection. And the second one is detect the line position from the mask. Sounds good. And then the control logic to flow the line. And then over here, we tell it to, okay, there's a line lost. And then the following part, brainstorming. So I asked it to give different examples of what we can use. It is saying proportional control, look ahead, and based on the centroid, move left and right. You have PID, of course, improve line extraction, still PID, but it's saying improve it. Fit a line to mask pixels. So again, you get the idea of brainstorming and getting the plan working. So now that we have a plan to execute, what we can do is we can tell it to start executing it. So the first thing is to merge video stream and color detection. So what we can do is we can tell it to start with, let me move that up. Can we? Oh no, we can't. Okay, start. I will show you the bigger image as well.
It's all
For
good.
now, let me just type it in. Start with merge video stream plus color detection, and there you go. So the idea is that we have this color detection script, and we have our video stream script. It will merge these two together so that we can detect the line itself. Merge video plus color detection .py. There you go. We have our file, and it's checking for errors, or Okay, yeah, it's basically done. Let's go back and try it out. So we will go to merge video and color detection. And over here, we will see that it is importing CV zone color module and it is importing PySimverse. We have the HSV color, and then based on the color, it will run and keep moving in a loop. So let's run that, and hopefully this will give us some good results. And there you go. So there we have it. We are moving up, and this is exactly what we wanted, right? So, oh, let me just change that. There you
You've
go.
created a beautiful piece of abstract art here.
Yeah. 3 lines, different colors.
Soon to be in
So,
the Louvre.
Yeah, actually, what I was going to do, I was going to open the debug mode and try to find the line, but apparently the last color that we detected was red, and it is perfectly matching here. So, we got lucky. Anyway, so our step 1 is done. We are getting the line. So next step is what? We need to detect this line, and we need to apply a following technique to it, right? So if we go to our plan, now at this point, if you think the change is too small, you can skip it instead of adding it to the project summary. But if the change is quite huge and you think that it is one big chunk that has been done, I highly recommend that you tell your model to add this to the summary. So for example, you can say, add these changes to the project summary. Just in case, we will add that here. So this way, even if you lose what you call your AI agent, or you try out a different one, they know what exactly was going on and what exactly needs to be done moving on. So there you go. Line following project summary implemented so far. We have merged the drone pipeline prototype, how to test, and all of that information. So you can see it's a very small summary, and pretty much it gives you the rough idea of what has been completed. Okay, so the next step is basically we will go back to our plan. And here we can see the next step is to detect the line position from mask, right? So we need to know where is the center of our line. So based on that, we can move our drone. So we will tell it to, we can press Control L, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it does different stuff. So it will actually add this line over here if you press Control L, and then you can say execute the next step.
Make it so, number 1.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Just a little something for the Star Trek fans out there.
Oh, okay. Okay, now there's 2 approaches here. What you can do is either you can tell it to change the same file, or you can tell it to create a new file. Again, it's up to you if you want to use the same file again and again. Actually, let me know in the comments, what would you have done? Would you create a new file for each step, or would you keep improving the same file? So here now we have the look ahead row starts, look ahead band. So it has implemented quite a bit. And get line center. This is the new function that it added. Get line center X. And if we go down here, this is where it's implemented. So hopefully, let's run that and see if it will work.
We'll just have to make the sound effects ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. It has done quite a bit. You can see here, we have the green line, we have the blue line, And it's also giving you a yellow region where I believe it's taking the average of that. So it's only using this area to get the center. It's not taking the center of, I believe, the whole line. Now, this is where the good thing is. You are the ones deciding what to do, what approach to take. So you can try this out for yourself. You can implement different strategies, whether you want to make this the whole image, whether only the center part, or you want to apply a different technique. It's all up to you. So here you can see we have the line X, and then we have the error. So we are getting an error, which means the drone is that much apart from the center. So that's the basic idea. What we can do is, because we already have this, all of this, what we can do is we can go down, and in our stack, we can remove the mask and the orange image, because we don't really need that. Where did it go? Because we are just implementing on, and we can make it one column. And if we run that again, so we will get only one image. And in fact, let's make it one. The scale also let's make it a little bit bigger so we can see.
It should save you some milliseconds there.
Yeah, there you go. So now we can see a little bit better. Okay, so now pretty much comes the final step, that we have the center, we have the line. Now we need to tell it to move and follow the line. So if we go back to cursor, and if we, again, you can ask your AI agent to implement or add to the project summary what we have done, but adding it after every prompt does not make much sense. Once you have done a big chunk, I would say this is a small project, so it doesn't really show you the real power of this. If it's a bigger project, then it's a little bit better that way. So, okay, let's apply the control logic. This is the line control safety behavior. Yeah, okay. So now if you press Control L, there you go, and start or execute this step. And the reason we are not using very fancy English, or we are not giving a lot of detail, is because we already have a plan, right? So if we had not had a plan, then we would write here what needs to be done, make sure this works, make sure this doesn't happen, and so on. So here it is already giving you the plan, and it's just trying to implement that. So if you had to make any changes, I would suggest change here, and then tell it to read again and execute the plan again. Okay, so now it's saying that it has completed it. So fingers crossed, and let's see if it will work. So let's run this. There you go. Oh,
He got
so
lost.
it did follow the line, but then it got lost, right? So if we reset this, we stop it and run it again. The good thing is you don't really need to connect again and again. Once you run the Python code, it will automatically connect. So there we have. There you go. So as you can see, it is following the line, but is not able to continue, and it's not able to finish it. And there comes the best part. So now you can simply try out different methods and try out different techniques, see which one works better to actually get some good results. Now, I remember we used to do a lot of PID back in our days, to implementing it to real drones, real line following cars and drones. Very time consuming, very difficult to do. But I believe the first time I tried this out, I created the script, and it took me 1 hour to optimize this. And I was able to save, I believe, 10 or 15 seconds somehow for the difficult one here, the level 3. this one, which is a big deal, right? So it's up to you. How do you want to use it? How do you want to create your own methodology of following the line? And that's why we have these different options. So right now it's using option A. We can tell it to implement option B, for example. So we can write here, we can press L, Control L. The first approach did not work well. Try out this one. Yeah. So I'm going a little bit fast here because I think we have already crossed the time limit.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not. Yeah.
We're
Sorry
a little
about
bit
that.
over, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It,
That's why I'm
inside,
not really reading what the AI is generating. I'm just running it.
hey,
It will
it's all
take.
good for us. But from my perspective, longer episode means more opportunities to show YouTube ads.
Oh, okay. Then it's a win-win situation, right?
Exactly.
I mean, even for the viewers, it's a win situation.
Yeah.
Like if they get more out of it. Okay,
Bingo.
so now it's saying it has completed. Now, if I were to do this, the correct way, I would definitely tell it to create a second script for PID, because you don't want to keep changing the same script over and over again, especially if you have a completely different technique to detect the line. But in any case, we are pacing right now rather than optimizing. So let's run that. There you go. And it's not following it at all. Oh, okay. Ooh, it did something and it's gone out. Oh, bad
Nice.
crash.
A little physics demo there.
Oh yeah, it actually uses real physics rather than just saying go forward, go left, go right.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's it. Anyways, I believe now when it comes to PID, it's all about the values, right? It's the KP, the KI, the KD. Let's try to see where did it add those. There you go. So what I like to do, I like to make all of them 0 and then just focus on KP. So let's say 0.01. I think it was not turning enough. So maybe we need to increase it. 0.3, maybe let's say 0.5 or let's say 0.6. So let's rerun that. Wait, I feel like it's going the opposite direction.
Maybe we've got is y negative y up here? Maybe we're confused.
Yeah. I think it's going in the negative direction. Let's just tell the AI, or should we do it ourselves?
One of the most persistent problems in 3D, graphics and gaming and all this stuff is which way is up, which way is forward, which way is
Yeah.
back. Is it positive? Is it negative?
True. Let me run it one more time just to make sure. Is it the direction or is it something else? Yeah, it's the direction.
It's mirrored here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mirror your direction.
I mean, it makes sense. When you ask something that doesn't have a physical body to navigate the world, it's probably going to be a little difficult.
Well, it's easier than doing it in the real world, right?
Yeah, well, definitely cheaper. That would have.
Yeah,
I mean, we would have spent like $5,000 on drones so far.
Yeah. That crash was not good. Okay, so hopefully this time around. And yeah, there you go. But now it's too aggressive, right? So it keeps rotating. So the idea here is that when you are using PID, the first thing you should do is try to complete the whole thing with just KP. And if it's able to do it, it will oscillate. It will go back and forth, back and forth. But it should be able to do it. So if you get it right, then only you can go ahead and introduce KD. And once you get a good KD, then you should go ahead and introduce KI. So these are, the steps to actually run PID. It was too much, right? So what was it? 0.06. Let's make it 0.02. And let's see how that works. So again, the whole point of this is that you will have your own technique and your own method and your own tuning, and that will give you the results. And it's not turning at all. It's not turning at all.
It's walking off into the sea.
Yeah. Anyways, so again, you can keep brainstorming and keep trying out different methods. Let me show you what we did, which is a little bit better than this. Again, we didn't spend a lot of time on this. It's a little bit better than what we have done so far. So there you go. This is a line following drone. No. It's getting stuck. And
it recovered.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So it is following. Oh, it saw two lines.
It took a shortcut.
Yeah, I tried to take a shot. And now it's going back. Okay.
It found the Mario Kart skip for this level.
Yeah. I think we need to maybe reduce the height. Let's make it 15 maybe. Because it was able to see both of them at the same time. So one easy way to do this is just reduce the height. But yeah, it's not really optimized for. Oh, okay. Now I get it. It's so low that it's hitting the barrier. I didn't actually think of that. So we need to go
the
higher.
physical box that it's inside of there. Okay.
This black box.
That's amazing.
It's hitting the black box. Okay, so let's go up. But then when you go up, then you need a better detection model, because then you will see black and white and some maybe brown as well.
And possibly more red lines than when lower to the ground, right?
Yeah. See, now it didn't hit, but now you can see.
But we did teach it to do a backflip. That's something.
Yeah, actually, this is very common in these small drones. They occasionally do a backflip in real world as well. So anyways, so I'm not going to tune it here. And, we had done a few codes back, and we got some good results out of this. And we have a sample code on the tutorials page as well. You can check that out. But here is the main idea. After this, it's just about tuning. And what we will be doing is we will be having a competition for this as well, where you will be able to compete on a global level, and you will be able to rank yourself in terms of score, right? So the quicker you can optimize this, the faster you can complete, the higher the rank you will get. So this is one of the applications that we will be having as a competition as well.
Or you could get your AI chatbot to help you hack the leaderboard and put yourself on top of it.
Yeah, you can try that too.
Perverse incentives, man.
Yeah, you can try that too. But we will be watching. Yeah, we'll be watching for you. I think that is pretty much it. I would like to give my final thoughts on PySimverse. Let me just open up. Yeah. So PySimverse was under development for around a year, and then we opened it up to public a few weeks ago. And now we are working on a lot of different missions. As you have seen here, disaster assessment, water rescue, rare species detection, lots of different applications. Some of them are already developed. We are optimizing them. Some of them are in the queue that will be developed later on. And the good thing is that a lot of this is free, but some of them will be paid as well. Some of the missions will be paid. And for that, we are launching a Kickstarter campaign next month. And the big offer for Kickstarter will be that you pay once and you get lifetime access with lifetime mission upgrades. So whatever future missions we build, usually this is not the case because you need a full team, and we have a full team that actually develops all these new missions. So it is a recurring cost. But for our Kickstarter campaigns, our Kickstarter backers, we are going to give this offer for one-time payment. So you buy the software and that's it. You will get lifetime updates and lifetime future missions, competitions, live sessions, whatever we do, it will be free for you. I
Sounds like a
hope
great deal.
that is a good deal, right? So you can back us on Kickstarter. It's not live at the moment. As I mentioned, it will be next month. And you can just go to the link. Can I share the link?
Yeah, definitely. We'll put it in the show notes as well.
You can go to PySimverse.com and you can click here, back us on Kickstarter, or you can simply go directly to this link that I will be sharing with Mr. Phil. Where can I share?
You can just post, basically any of these chats will be fine. There's also
Yeah,
a private chat button in Restream if you look in the bottom left of the window.
In the chat. Wait, I can see the chat, but I can post it.
I don't know.
Okay, let me. Where is it? Okay, nevertheless, you can go to PySimverse. You can Google PySimverse as well. We already have a good SEO ranking, but you can actually find it very easily. Just write PySimverse, and you can click on back us on Kickstarter, and we have 400 plus followers waiting for the project to launch.
Sweet.
So hopefully, we will be able to complete the project and keep it rolling.
Yeah. Congratulations, on so much work, and good luck on the campaign. It seems like a great deal, and I hope that it's successful here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead. I'll bring down your screen share here. Go ahead and switch your camera to regular view, if you will. that would probably be best. Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So yeah, now is the time for our trivia competition. I've got a special trivia helper here. This is Fluffy. Say hola to Fluffy.
Oh, very cute.
Fluffy is going to help us do our trivia question today, and then she will get a cookie afterwards. So, in case you need a reminder, if this is the first time you're joining us, one of the things we do on OpenCV Live is a giveaway to you out there in the audience. I'm going to ask a trivia question based on today's presentation from Murtaza, and the very first person to answer that question in the chat, wherever you're watching, will win the OpenCV University course of your choosing. You can see what courses are on offer by going to opencv.org/university. I'm going to go ahead and add our trivia question up on screen. Please, if you have won in the last couple of months, don't answer and give someone else a chance to win. Today, we talked a bit about PySimverse. On what episode did we first get a preview of PySimverse? What episode number did we have Murtaza on to talk about PySimverse? We talked about it earlier in the show. Oh, so close. We got some people in Zoom, and it looks like the answer we were looking for was... Wow, there were so many answers here. One moment. The answer we were looking for was 176, and it looks like On Zoom, the first person to answer correctly was our friend Christopher Fahy. Christopher answered 176 first. We had Uzair who said 175. So close, so close. Christopher, congratulations on your trivia win. Please send one email to me. That's phil@opencv.org. And I will make sure that you get access to the course that you pick, opencv.org/university. Find out the courses. We can finally release Fluffy from her servitude here. Hola, Fluffycita. Muchas gracias. Okay. We've now got, that's phil@opencv.org, phil@opencv.org. I'm super easy to get at, folks. You can email me about anything. It doesn't even have to just be about trivia. We've got a bunch of questions here. I don't know how much time you have, Martaza, but we can do a few questions, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Let me pull some of these up here. Over on Zoom. This is not a question, but more of a comment. I thought this was pretty funny. Axel on Zoom says, it is unsafe to watch OpenCV live in Australia. It's now 3:40 a.m. It's dark. Nobody is awake. I'm feeling a little bit wired by now, and I'm almost ready to upend my life and become a drone specialist. Well, let us know how it goes, Axel.
Most careers start this way.
Honestly, that's what happened to me.
Something.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I think especially software engineers.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that, Axel. We appreciate it. Dr. Best on YouTube asks, are there any sensors for line following? Like, are there any optimized specific sensors? I don't know if I've seen. I know that there's point cameras, right?
Right. So in terms of line following robots and vehicles like this, they have IR sensors that can detect black and white, and most of these competitions and arenas, they have a very distinctive black and white lines so that the robot can easily detect that. But in the case of drones, it's not very useful to add that because it has a very, very small range. It has to be very close to the ground. So your line following sensor is basically your camera. So and that's pretty much what most drones have. Using your camera, you can move it up or down. So in this case, it was tilted downwards. By the way, if you are using a real drone like Tello, which faces the camera forward, you have to add a mirror so that it faces downwards. That is one of the added difficulty when you are trying it out for the first time in real life. So in our case, we have the drone and we have pointed the camera downwards already. So that's basically your line sensor in this case. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. As with many things, the question is, how much do you want to spend and how good do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Dan on Zoom asks, does PySimverse work on Linux? Is there a Linux version of PySimverse?
Not at the moment, but right after Mac, we will be looking into the Linux version as well.
Okay.
So
do you have
right now,
any idea
Mac
for a
is very
timeline on
close.
that?
Mac, yeah, by next month, before Kickstarter, we should already have a Mac version. But the Linux version, we will have to check how long it takes. We don't really have a clear answer for that.
Got it. And we got one more question here from Adi on Zoom. They were interested in your cursor setup. You said you already had some templates set up in Cursor. Like, do you have any kind of more tips and tricks for specifically using Cursor with this kind of workflow?
Well, most of this is generated on the go. If I go back to my cursor, there you go. So if I go back to my cursor, the plans folder is what we created, and the project summary is again what we created. So the only thing that I would reuse is the templates. So that's why we have a separate folder for that. So we have a complete course on PySimverse, around 1.5 hours on YouTube. You can go check that out as well. In that, we created some templates. And for this example as well, I copied those templates and reused them. So other than that, everything we created on the go, and that's the beauty and creativity of these AI agents, that you can very easily create these projects without a lot of hurdles and without having a very big learning curve. You can just create a few folders and get started.
Yeah. It is a brave new world and an interesting time to be a software developer and a creator of anything
Yeah.
these days.
True.
I think that's all we got for questions here. Any final thoughts for the audience, Murtaza?
Yeah. So keep learning, keep getting inspired, and even though we have a lot of AI going around, it's still important to know the basics. So yes, a lot of people are moving towards completely writing with AI, but it is very crucial that you understand the architecture, the workflow, the databases, and all of that, so you can actually keep making changes to the projects rather than just having a brain rot with vibe coding. Sorry to use that word, but yeah, that's how it feels like nowadays. And even if I talk about myself, I feel that I'm getting lazier and lazier the more I use these AI agents. So try to come up with projects that really inspire you. Keep creating and keep getting those tada moments, so that you build some real projects rather than just writing vibe code. I hope that will be useful.
Yeah, it's kind of a dangerous thing. We're learning. There's some research that's coming out more and more about the effects of using these chat bots and code generators just on your brain in general, like in terms of
Yeah,
memory retention, in terms of being able to learn stuff. And so it's
exactly.
they're really it's interesting technology, but like anything, you really do have to think about what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
With that, I think
exactly.
we can call it a day here. Thank you so much for joining us today, folks. We will be back next week with another episode of OpenCV Live from Mexico City, and our guest will be Paula Ramos talking about the VAND 4.0 challenge, which we've featured on the show each of the last 3 years, I believe. The Anomaly Detection Challenge at CVPR. We'll be talking about it next week with our friend Paula. We hope you'll join us. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. Pacific. As for me, I am going to go give these dogs a treat, and I will see you next time. Please take care of yourselves out there and take care of somebody else if you can. And have a great day wherever you may be. Adios.